I'm Lance Lasowski from the Buffalo News, reporting live from KeyBank Center, where the Sabres lost to the St. Louis Blues 3-1 Saturday afternoon in front of about 17,000 fans here in downtown Buffalo, many of whom I'm sure left this building angry and disappointed. Great crowd. They deserve better than they got, though. The Sabres really didn't give them much to cheer about. Not a poor performance by any means, and we've seen some of those, particularly the last couple of years, as this group tries to move from young and inexperienced into mature and playoff ready. The problem wasn't goaltending, although that seems to always be a topic of discussions for fans in Buffalo. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, really strong again, made some outstanding saves, especially in the third period, while the Sabres' defensive zone structure, just their structure in general, sort of fell apart as they were pushing to tie that game. Luukkonen has a .936 save percentage in his last 11 starts dating to December 30th. He's been a bright spot, no matter which way you want to put it. Suddenly, at 24 years old, he's going to be a restricted free agent this summer and has earned himself quite a bit of a raise. And as we stand here in early February, I think a lot of fans were anticipating that goaltending would be on Kevyn Adams' shopping list ahead of the March 8th trade deadline. Absolutely not, though. While they may kick the tires, so to speak, on backup options, I still think that they are confident in Eric Comrie. They still have Devin Levi in Rochester, who, by the way, had a really strong game Friday night for the Amherst. This team needs to score goals. They're finally defending. They've allowed 3 or fewer goals in 11 out of the last 13 games, but not enough of their forwards are producing. And it always boils down to, okay, well, who do you blame? Well, what's the cause here? Is it confidence? Kyle Okposo shot that notion down very quickly, I may add. Jeff Skinner admitted that, hey, they might have lost their identity a little bit as a group if they've tried to become a better defensive team. Their lack of consistency would certainly speak to that. Guys need to produce. I think that we can sit here and, Don Granato should not be immune to criticism, but when Skinner, Tage Thompson, and Alex Tuch have combined for only 3 goals in this team's last 9 games, it's tough to win, especially when you're without Jack Quinn. You've got 18-year-old Zach Benson trying to develop in the NHL in a top 6 role, which no small feat, no small challenge, I should say, pardon me. JJ Peterka has been a really great story. And Jordan Greenway, hey, I mean, since he was acquired at the trade deadline last year, he's developed into a pretty important player, but not a goal scorer. He's never been a goal scorer in the NHL. You can expect double digits, 11, 12 goals. That's likely the ceiling, just given his role, the way that he's used, his strengths as a player. They need to find goals somewhere. Right now, those aren't in Rochester. Yuri Kulik's dealing with an injury. Isak Rosean's not scoring like he was the first half of the season. So what is Kevyn Adams to do? As I wrote in my observation story off this game, why not add a forward? You've got prospects, you've got draft picks, you've got cap space. Coaching decision aside, because I don't think that Kevyn Adams is going to make that decision in season. It's quite challenging. Your candidate pool is not as big if that's the route that he does choose to go. Still 31 games to play here. You could add to this group now. You can only have so many prospects. You can only have so many young players in Rochester. Seth Appert can't have 12 rookie forwards in his lineup each night, although as a development guy, as somebody who's really good with young players, I'm sure he would be eager to tackle that challenge, that opportunity. They're going to have to move someone at some point. You think of names like Savoy, Ostlund, Wahlberg, Poltopov, Kisakov, Neutchev, Rusek. Like, we could go down the list. At some point, you don't have room for all those guys. The Sabres have signed their players long-term. Dahlin, Power, Cousins, Thompson, Samuelson. Surely we'll have more join that list. Peterka, Quinn, once he gets on the ice and stays healthy, those guys have certainly played their way into that conversation. Something's got to give. A lot of teams around the league are wondering, what's Buffalo going to do at the trade deadline? Cap space, picks, of course, some very intriguing pending UFAs that'll be coveted by contenders, Eric Johnson, Zemgus Girgensons. You got the sense that perhaps Kyle Okposo will be able to call his shot if he wants to go somewhere. If a team like the Islanders or the Islanders in particular, if they're interested, we'll see along those lines. But this is a team that is not at a crossroads, perhaps, but I think Kevin Adams has a decision to make on where to go with this group next. He knows who his core is for the most part. How do you build around them? Because the plan going to this season hasn't worked. They were betting on rookies, they're betting on prospects. Guys like Tyson Jost have just been kind of boxed out, haven't been able to play their roles. And they've got a pretty big hole in the middle six right now that even if you're playing your rush offense, even if you're limiting turnovers, even if you're getting to the net front, which they didn't do nearly often enough against St. Louis, you still need guys who can put the puck in the net. And right now, it looks like the Sabres just don't have enough of those, you know, and it puts too much pressure on guys like Thompson, Skinner, and Tuch to be consistent contributors each night. And you take that pressure and you put on even younger players like Cousins and Peterka. You know, especially in this building, when you have a crowd that doesn't want to see you fall behind 1-0, and you're not going to get away or be forgiven for any sort of lapses or difficult stretches of play. It's really become an issue. It was magnified in this game, and still 13 more to play before Kevin Adams has to finalize decisions. Trade deadline's March 8th. We'll still have plenty more to analyze and discuss leading up to that day, but I think that we saw here Saturday afternoon that shopping list shouldn't just be about selling. It should be about buying as well, not only for the short term, but the long term. I'm Lance Lasowski, the Buffalo News, here at KeyBank Center. Thanks again.